Let me tell you something that's often overlooked, but makes all the difference. It's not just about walking, it's about how you walk. Especially as you get older, the way you carry yourself through the world tells your body something very important. It tells your body whether it should prepare to fall, or whether it should prepare to stand tall. And believe me, your body listens. Now, think for a moment about posture. Most people shrug it off. They think posture is about looking good, or something your grandmother nagged you about at the dinner table. But posture is so much more than that. It's a message. When your spine is upright, when your shoulders are relaxed but open, when your chin is level with the horizon, you are telling your body that you are balanced, stable, and in control. And when you walk with that kind of alignment, your chances of falling go down dramatically. I've watched thousands of people walk, young and old. The ones who fall easily, who seem always just a step away from stumbling, they walk disconnected from their bodies. Their eyes are on the ground, their shoulders curled in, their feet shuffling like they don't trust the earth beneath them. It's as if they've already accepted the fall and are just waiting for it to happen. But those who walk like they will never fall, they are different. You can see it in the way their spine moves, straight, but not stiff. Their steps are full, but not rushed. They are walking with awareness, and more importantly, they're walking with intention. Every movement, from the way the heel touches the ground to the way the toes push off, is part of a larger conversation they're having with their body. And that conversation matters. Because as we age, the body naturally begins to change. Muscles lose strength, reflexes slow, the sense of balance can fade. But we are not helpless in the face of these changes. In fact, we are far more powerful than we think. The body responds to how we use it. If we walk hunched over, disconnected, looking down at our feet, then the body adapts to that pattern, and not in a good way. The muscles that help keep us upright weaken from disuse. The stabilizing core, which plays a huge role in preventing falls, becomes lazy. The neck stiffens, the back curves, and before long, a simple walk to the kitchen becomes an obstacle course. But change the walk, and you change everything. When you raise your eyes to look ahead instead of down, your whole body shifts. The neck lengthens. The spine stretches upward. The chest opens so your lungs can breathe more fully. The legs begin to move with purpose. The arms swing naturally. The core engages almost automatically. With this kind of posture, the body starts to relearn balance, coordination, and presence. And this doesn't require a gym or fancy equipment. It's something you can begin right now. Next time you stand up to walk, pause. Take one breath. Feel the connection between your feet and the ground. Raise your head until your gaze is looking straight ahead, not down. Relax your shoulders and lengthen your spine. Then begin to move. Slowly if you must, but with awareness. With each step, feel the rhythm, the contact, the control. This is walking like you'll never fall. And the incredible part is, this posture does more than prevent physical falling. It also uplifts the mind. When we stand tall, we begin to feel taller inside. We begin to feel more capable. Confidence grows quietly, step by step, simply from the act of carrying ourselves with dignity. You don't need to be fast. You don't need to walk far. You just need to walk well. Over time, this way of moving becomes natural. You begin to reclaim the body's wisdom. You start to move as you were meant to move. Not tentatively, not fearfully, but gracefully, steadily, strongly. People notice. More importantly, you notice. You start to trust yourself again. And with that trust, falls become rare. Not because they're impossible, but because you're no longer moving in ways that invite them. That's why older people who walk like this, who walk upright, grounded, and present, they almost never fall. Because the fall isn't something that surprises them. It's something they've already walked beyond. Most people believe that falling is just bad luck or the result of aging. But if you look closer, if you study the body and observe how it moves, you begin to realize something important. There is a science behind stability. Falling is not random. It has a pattern, and more importantly, it has a cause. Once you understand that, you can start to move differently, and you can learn how not to fall. The body is a system, and like every system, it works best when all parts are doing their job. The feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips, the spine, they all communicate. They keep each other informed about where the body is in space. When this system is functioning well, you don't need to think much about balance. It just happens naturally. But when the communication breaks down, when the muscles are weak, the steps are uneven, or the mind is distracted, then balance becomes something you must fight for. And that's when people fall. That's why how you walk matters. Not just the posture, but the rhythm, the pressure, the placement of each step. If you've ever seen someone walk with small, shuffling steps, barely lifting their feet from the ground, You can almost feel the imbalance. It's like walking on ice. Every movement is hesitant, unsure. The body is trying to protect itself, but in doing so, it's actually increasing the risk of falling. Compare that to someone who walks with short, steady, intentional steps. The foot lands heel first, then rolls forward to the toe. The weight shifts smoothly from one leg to the other. The core is gently engaged, providing a stable center for the rest of the body to move around. The arms swing naturally, helping with balance. That kind of walking is grounded, it's efficient, and most importantly, it's safe. There's a reason athletes and martial artists train their steps. Not just to move faster, but to stay balanced under pressure. The principles are the same for older people. When you train your steps, when you practice walking with awareness, you begin to wake up the muscles that have gone quiet. You activate the stabilizers around your hips, your ankles, and your lower back. These are the muscles that keep you from swaying or tipping over. You don't need to make them strong like a weightlifter. You just need to remind them how to work together. This is where consistency matters. If you take 5 minutes a day to walk with full awareness, barefoot if possible, in a quiet space where you feel safe, you are giving your body the chance to relearn what it already knows. You are rewiring the system. You are building balance from the ground up, and it doesn't take long. Within weeks, you begin to feel more stable. You turn corners more confidently. You get out of chairs more easily. Even walking up or down stairs starts to feel smoother. There is a deep intelligence in the body. When you walk with mindfulness, you are listening to that intelligence. You are teaching the nervous system to respond quickly if you slip. You are improving your reflexes without even thinking about it. Because the best reaction is the one that happens before your mind even notices the danger. Falling most of the time is not about weakness. It's about the body being unprepared for change. An unexpected shift, a moment of imbalance, a sudden distraction. But if your body has practiced stability, if it has rehearsed those small movements of correction, then falling is no longer inevitable. Instead, you recover, you adjust, you stay standing. Even small changes in your walking pattern can have a huge effect. Slightly bending the knees instead of locking them. Letting the arms move freely instead of keeping them stiff. Feeling the contact of each foot with the floor instead of rushing forward unconsciously. These simple actions send signals throughout the body. I am present. I am aware. I am stable. And this kind of stability goes beyond the physical. It creates a certain calmness in the mind. Because when your body feels safe, your mind relaxes. When you know your feet are under you, solid and secure, you stop worrying about the next step. You take it with confidence. You move through your day with a little more ease, a little more grace. This is what I want you to remember. Falling is not something you wait to avoid. It's something you train to prevent. And the best way to train is by walking in a way that strengthens the connection between your mind, your muscles, and the ground beneath you. Because when you walk with stability, the ground doesn't feel like a threat anymore. It feels like home. Most people think falling starts in the body. But very often it begins somewhere else. Much earlier, much quieter. It starts in the mind. Before a person loses their balance, before their foot slips or their ankle twists, there is usually a single subtle thought. What if I fall? That thought, small as it seems, sends a signal to the body. And that signal changes everything. Fear has a way of tightening us. When we feel unsure, we shrink. The shoulders close in, the breath becomes shallow, the steps get shorter, and the body starts to move hesitantly. But here's the strange part. When you move in a hesitant way, you become less stable. The body that is unsure becomes the body that is unprepared. So fear doesn't protect you from falling, it actually invites it. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine walking with a quiet confidence, not arrogance, but a grounded trust in your body. You step forward not with fear, but with calm certainty. Your feet move with purpose. Your body remains relaxed but alert. In this state, your mind is clear, your breath is deep, and your movements are smooth. And the chance of falling, it drops dramatically. I've seen this again and again. Two people the same age, same physical ability. One walks nervously, watching every step, stiff and tense. The other walks with quiet assurance, looking forward, flowing like water. Who do you think falls more often? Always the one who is afraid. Because fear creates hesitation, and hesitation breaks the flow. Confidence, on the other hand, is not about being strong, it's about trust. Trust in your feet, your balance, your awareness. This trust isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. Every time you walk with intention, every time you pay attention to your steps, you're sending a message to your brain. I am capable. I am in control. Over time, that message becomes your default. You start to walk as if falling is not an option. Not because you're ignoring the risk, but because you're ready for it. One of the biggest reasons people fall as they get older is not weakness in the legs or dizziness. It's lack of confidence. When the mind becomes afraid, the body loses its natural rhythm. And without rhythm, the body becomes unstable. This is why walking practice isn't just physical. It's deeply mental. When you practice walking in a mindful way, you're not just training muscles. You're training courage. You begin to learn that your body is still listening to you, still learning, still adapting. And once you understand that, fear starts to lose its grip. You realize that you don't need to walk like you're fragile. You can walk like you're alive. And when you do that, something beautiful happens. Your movements start to speak a new language. A language of calm. A language of strength. A language that says, I will not fall today. Let's be clear. This doesn't mean you will never lose your balance. Life is unpredictable. But when you carry yourself with confidence, the body becomes more responsive. You trip, but you catch yourself. You wobble, but you recover. And most importantly, you don't panic. Because your mind knows the difference between danger and doubt. And it knows you've trained for this. When you trust your steps, every walk becomes a form of meditation. You begin to enjoy the movement. You stop dreading the stairs or the uneven pavement. You stop asking, what if I fall? And you start asking, how far can I go? And the deeper gift of this kind of walking is what it does to your spirit. You begin to feel lighter, not because your body changed overnight, but because your relationship to fear has changed. You start to feel free. And that freedom shows in every step, every breath, every moment you choose to move with presence instead of panic. So the next time you walk, ask yourself this: am I walking with fear? Or am I walking with confidence? Because that choice, that simple shift in mindset, could be the difference between falling behind and moving forward. Walk like you won't fall, and your body will follow. Every step you take is more than just movement. It's a choice. It's a choice between moving passively through life or walking with intention. And the truth is, the older we get, the more that choice matters. Because how you walk doesn't just affect whether or not you fall. It shapes how you live. I've seen it over and over again. Older people who walk with intention stay more independent, more energized, more connected to their lives. It's not magic. It's not about being young or athletic. It's about staying engaged with your body and your environment. And it starts with the smallest actions. Placing your foot with awareness, holding your spine tall, letting your breath guide your movement. You see, when you walk without thinking, when your body moves without presence, your awareness drifts, your balance weakens, and your connection to the moment fades. But when you walk with intention, everything changes. The body comes alive again, muscles wake up, the nervous system sharpens, and slowly, you begin to feel not just steadier, but stronger. It's not about speed. It's not about going far. It's about choosing to move with purpose, even if it's just across the room. That purpose is a quiet form of power. And that power is what helps people stay in their own homes longer. It's what helps them get out of bed without fear, move through daily routines with ease, and still participate in the world without always needing help. That's what independence really is, not the absence of limitations, but the presence of intention. And this kind of walking is something anyone can cultivate. You don't need special shoes or fancy routines. You just need attention. You can start by simply feeling your feet. Feel the way they touch the ground. Notice if you are rushing, if you are dragging, or if you are balanced. Then ask yourself, can I walk with just a little more awareness? Can I feel the movement of my hips, the swing of my arms, the way my breath supports each step? That awareness repeated daily becomes a habit. And that habit slowly reshapes your body. It strengthens your joints. It improves your posture. It gives your reflexes the practice they need. And maybe more importantly, it restores your trust in yourself. Because here's the thing. When people stop trusting their bodies, they start to avoid movement. They sit more. They walk less. They ask others to do things they could still do themselves. And slowly, without even realizing it, they begin to shrink their lives. They stop going to the store alone. They avoid stairs. They skip social gatherings. They trade freedom for safety, not knowing that this kind of safety has a cost. But when you walk with intention, the opposite happens. You begin to expand again. You realize that yes, your body has changed, but it hasn't given up, and neither should you. You start to explore again. You go outside more. You take walks in nature, even if they're short. You say yes to things you used to avoid. That's what I mean by walking with intention. It's not just physical, it's personal. It's about reclaiming your place in the world, one steady step at a time. And the beautiful part is, this kind of walking is deeply human. It's available to everyone. Whether you're recovering from injury, dealing with illness, or simply adjusting to the changes of age, you can still move with presence. You can still walk like your life belongs to you. And when you do that, something inside you shifts. You feel more like yourself again. Even simple routines become acts of strength. Walking to the mailbox, getting up from a chair, going up the stairs. These are not just chores, they're small victories. They are reminders that you still have power, that you are still capable, that life is not behind you, it's still unfolding, and you are still part of it. So don't underestimate the importance of how you walk. Don't wait for a fall to teach you what your body has been trying to tell you all along. Start today. Walk like it matters, because it does. Every step you take with intention helps protect your future, preserve your independence, and reconnect you with the strength you already carry within. Walk with intention, and your life will walk with you.